Good afternoon. My name is Mark Hansen, and I'm going to be walking you through the house. I'm going to take a look just around the outside first, and then we're going to go into the inside, and I'm going to try to point out the things that you would normally see when you're here. So let's take a look, all right? Thanks. So I'm just going to walk out to the edge of the street here and give you kind of a right-left. This is looking as you come, as you pass the house. There is, across the street, as you can see, it's pretty wooded. That is where you're coming in, and you'll see a car pass probably in a minute there. That's down where, I believe that's Millstone. So again, we're going to pan around. I'm going to try to move slow, but that's looking into the backyard. There's the house itself. So let's take a walk around. So again, it's a pretty private lot. From what I understand, this part over here to the left, that can't be built. So I'm understanding that it's part of one lot. And again, if we look at, if I go in a line here, this pretty much shows as I look backwards straight from here. It's hard to see the marker stone, but there's a marker stone right about there. And that goes all the way back, back to just where you see this tree right here. So anyway, not a whole lot of landscaping to speak of, but here is the side of the house. Again, up. That vent stack, I believe, is for the heating system. They've been replacing, trim up and around these areas. This particular chimney here is in pretty good shape. They've been doing some cuts and some repair pieces here and there. So I'm going to try to get a little bit closer and just show you what we're talking about here. They had been doing some sidewalling, and as you can see right here, basically what they did is they actually filled in where the old barn board was, went over it with the Tyvek, and then put the new shingling on. So they've been doing some repair and replace along these areas as well. Bulkhead is in just average condition. A lot of the wood around in the bottoms, you can see things like this. They've been doing cut pieces, so you see that a lot around the house. And again, most of the windows are original, just with storms. This chimney here, the actual chimney itself is in good shape. However, some of the flashing, maybe around this area here, there's something going on because on the inside at one point it did show some water getting in there. Both these windows here and there, they look to be fogged, so that's something that probably is going to have to be changed. So I'll just give you kind of a look around the yard. This is where the septic is located, sort of down in this area here. And then the tank is up in here, and you can see there's some cement lids that have been constructed, and those are just caps for that as well. So I'm going to just back out. You can see the back of the house. So you're looking here. The roof is actually newer. It is a tab roof. They've got a lot of stuff. When I look over here, this is what I was talking about before. So that's actually in view. I'm going to go up onto the deck. Now, this is all cement. They do actually have bricks in order to go over this, or you could potentially just deck over this. This was replaced here on the inside of the house, right on this spot right here. You'll see that there's some rot. I did look underneath, and they have doubled up on the joist, so it's just a matter of actually replacing the floor on the inside of the house. All up in here, this is all rotted. Really needs to be replaced. This should probably be stripped and removed, but the gutters are in semi-rough shape. They need to be replaced realistically. And again, the wood you're going to see on most of the windows, things like this. And it's sort of punky as it goes. They've been trying to do some repairs, but honestly, a lot of this trim just needs to be removed and replaced. You would do that obviously when you went to change the windows. They have sort of made some attempts to continue to do the trim, but as we look up, there's some brake boards, more boards that they've been changing. There's a shot into the backyard, but again, metered. Mostly that T111 barn board, but again, you're getting areas where they've changed the trim, but really it's, you know, some of these windows are pretty rotted, so you just want to change those out. The nice thing is the foundation is actually, you know, not real close, so you can see there's a good distance, which means actually no termites. They've been replacing some of these cut pieces. And again, looking along the front of the house, these bushes are pretty much overgrown, need to be replaced. There's a look, and I believe the lot line goes somewhere right over here and then kind of cuts back like a trapezoid. So what I'm going to do is walk around to the inside of the house, and we're going to go through and take a peek. I think we're running on about 6 minutes now. Sorry about the shaking. I'm going to walk around here. Oh, can see me? What's going on? So let's take a look inside. All right. So as I look, here is the access to the basement. I'm just going to pan through the kitchen. And you can see it's just outdated. Nothing really wrong with it. Got some wide pine, about 4-inch planks, so it needs to be refinished. The windows are in, you know, reasonable shape for what they are, but really at some point need to be replaced. These are, you know, just single pane glass, no thermal pane. And again, you're going to see some, you know, caulking and just stuff around here that's not done too well. But you can see there's some wear marks on the floors, things like that. So, but it's actually a good sized room. Over here you see the baseboard heating system works fine. Here's some of the stuff that I was talking about, and you can see it's mainly just there's been some water there that needs to be repointed. You know, I think probably the lentil on top of there, it probably needs to be replaced, but that's you know, typical expansion issues when there was water in there. So this one is actually in the worst shape. The other one is actually in pretty good shape. The other thing that everybody looks at, just walking along here, is that this door at some point there was some water damage. This is maybe a little harder to see. It's actually some pretty, that's actually a hole. You can kind of see where my hand is here. That's rotted wood. It really needs to be replaced, probably, you know, out and go across. So that's some damage in here. It's a little harder to see without a flash or a light. Anyway, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go through the kitchen now. And this is going into the living room area. Now the rest of the house is carpeted. There's nothing under the carpets, so it's just subfloor. This is the second almost living area. And this has a workable fireplace. This is where the front door enters in. So again, you can see panning. Looks through. I believe there is like a linen closet right here. It's pretty shallow because the stairs are there, but you can hang some coats in that. And here's the hallway down. This is the bathroom, bedroom number 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go take a look. Here's the bathroom. The tub is actually in good shape. It's just a question of, you know, the color. I believe you could probably epoxy it. You've got kind of a laid over parquet floor. There is a lot of cobwebs, unfortunately, but it's actually a really good size closet in here. Pretty deep. This is about 24 inches deep. Probably could rework this to have a first floor laundry. Then you can see all the walls are white. Vanity is older. Toilet is older, but the actual condition of the walls and ceilings is actually pretty good. no leaks or